This is
Hello
gonna
and
be
welcome.
this is gonna be the second week in a row that I've opened this talking about Captain America music.
Okay.
Because it's just been on my brain because of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause
I don't
that
want to
show
watch
is
it,
awesome.
to be fair. Like,
Why not?
Captain America is Captain America. Like, the Falcon was his own character and whatever. Now it's just like, I'll carry that torch.
I mean,
I just don't think he can.
well, if you should watch the show then. You should definitely watch the show then. Trust me, that is the entire point of the show.
Yeah.
Yes, watch it. Watch it. It's good. It's really good.
I did want to see WandaVision. That actually looked
WandaVision's
good.
very good. Yes.
I'm not expert, but I would think that I haven't seen the show either, but I would think that it would in fact be about the struggles of having to carry such a huge responsibility, like most superhero things, or like trying to become good enough, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or come to terms with.
I mean,
it,
it's not really a spoiler to say that the show deals with Sam and Bucky to an extent, wrestling with the legacy of Captain America and what it would mean for a black man to take up that mantle in a modern day America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very good. I highly recommend that you watch it. Like knowing how you feel about it, yes, absolutely watch it.
Maybe.
You're
I'm also just
skeptic.
not. I'm more. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't find the word I'm looking for, but I'm more like. I prefer movie series.
Fair
So
enough.
like because Marvel dropped like a bunch of new series onto, is it Disney Plus that they're streaming on? They dropped like a bunch. I remember I thought they were all like new movies coming out, and I was like, yo, this is gonna be so sick. And they were like all these series and things like that, because there's like ones about Loki and things, isn't there? Or is that coming?
Yes, Loki
Yeah.
is coming out next month.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they dropped like what 12 new things. I was following their Instagram.
Yeah, so you've got WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier have already aired. You've got Loki coming in June. You've got Ms. Marvel sometime later this year. And then next year you've got She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and Blade.
Jesus.
And then those are the ones that I remember. There could be more, I think. But then movie-wise, this year alone, you've got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man 3. And then next year you've got another 4 movies, which I don't remember. Captain Marvel 2, which is now titled The Marvels.
Did you see Tom Holland spoiled the name of this movie again?
No, you didn't.
I think he did.
No,
It was in...
they gave all 3 of them fake. It was a publicity thing, yeah. It was like playing on that, yeah. But all 3 of them like put out a different name, and then and then they revealed the actual one.
Yeah.
Like a day later.
I mean, it worked well because he definitely has spoiled so many things before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they don't give him like full scripts anymore.
Can't trust that motherfucker.
Is that thing where he was doing a live stream and on the back it says like confidential, do not was that real or was that also?
I don't know. I honestly didn't look into that.
Because,
It was funny though.
Yeah, like it looks like his reaction looks real, but the actual writing on the script looks fake. Like I feel like if something's actually confidential, they wouldn't like
I think it was
put
the
like
poster.
a confidential stamp.
Yeah, I think it was the poster for Endgame.
Yeah, that's what he showed, and then, but like he picks it up, and the camera sees like the confidential sign, and he flips it over, sees that it says confidential. Like it just looks a little bit fake, but his reaction wholeheartedly looks real. Like
He is an actor.
That is true.
I think maybe like around Civil War, Homecoming kind of thing, that was when he was making all his actual goofs and accidentally revealing stuff. And then once they got to Infinity War, Endgame kind of thing, it was like, okay, Tom, we are only going to tell you exactly what you need to know, and like to throw people off, we are going to have you do some fake reveal stuff. So yeah, I think maybe that was orchestrated, but definitely early on he was notorious for accidentally spoiling
Him and Mark
stuff.
Ruffalo,
Yeah.
they're both there.
Oh,
it's so
that
bad.
interview with Don Cheadle is it's hard to watch, because like if Don Cheadle had just like played it off as a joke and not reacted the way he did, it wouldn't have been obvious. Like that one's hard to watch.
The other prank that was really good was I don't know her name, but the chick from Game of Thrones. She was on Jimmy Fallon. She plays the. I only watched the last season of Game of Thrones, so I really don't know.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's because I never watched it, and then when I moved into my flat in Auckland, my flatmates were like obsessed with it, so every Monday night was Game of Thrones night.
Right.
So I just happened to be in the lounge when they were watching it.
You owe it to yourself to watch the whole thing. Right?
That's the thing. I thought the last season...
The last 2 seasons are not great, but the first 6 seasons are some of the best TV ever.
I thought the last season was pretty good, but that's because I didn't watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Highly recommend watching the
It's
rest of it.
kind of neat, the last season, but it's not... Like,
when you've been waiting 6 seasons for it, like, yeah, I thought it was good, but like I could see how they were kind of disappointed in it. But the shorter girl, she always had her hair like fully tied back.
Maisie Williams?
I think so, yeah. But she says something. She's on the Jimmy Fallon show. Once again, really good actress. It's really funny. So she's sitting there and she's like, oh, and then when we found out that such and such dies in episode 3, and she just like, and she goes, white man. And he's like, spoilers. And he's trying to laugh it off. And she's like, is this live? Like this? And he was like, no, like we can cut it. We found. And she's like, but they're all in the audience. They're all going to tell. And like she starts like crying. And it was so, and she, they're like, he was like, no, we can cut it. And we'll do like this whole confidential thing. Like we'll just pick up. So he like asks a different question sort of thing to pick up. She's like, oh, okay. And like they try and start, but she just keeps crying and she runs off stage. So, and then they come back and they're like, pranked.
so it wasn't real.
No.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
It was a prank the whole time.
Cool,
but like I was watching, because obviously it was posted everywhere. Like, oh, such and such revealed the spoiler. And once again, such good actress, because she just starts crying on the spot. And she's like, oh God, I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I just did that. Because like she thinks, everyone's like, there's like 100 people in the audience that are gonna like tweet it out and shit like that. And then they just come back and they're like, oh, pranked. And I was like, bro.
Oh God, it's such a dog shit move, honestly.
So yeah,
good,
what I was gonna say was the reworked Star Spangled Man track that they use as John Walker's intro is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, if you watch the show, it plays over the Marvel logo at the start of episode 2. It's so good. Actually, I'll play it for you once we're done with this. It's so good. Also, Sam's theme for the show.
Okay.
It's called Louisiana Hero on the soundtrack, and it's great. It's got like that kind of industrial Iron Man rock kind of sound to it. It's so good.
Nice.
It's like good. It's good running music.
I did go and listen to the Winter Soldier thing you were talking about last week. And I see. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
I was just sitting in here and I was like full blast on my headphones, like, I can see that.
Yeah. Did you want to look behind you?
No, not that much, but like I was still like,
he was sitting in his room, so
I'm like, this is a creepy kind of thing.
Yeah, try doing it like walking outside alone. It's not fun.
Yeah. Anyway, intro.
Anyway, hello and welcome to the ZeroFunction Podcast. I'm your host today, Conall, and
you look so happy to be hosting.
Shut the fuck up. And joining me today are my co-hosts Jen and Lee.
Hi everybody.
And today
I'm bringing the energy today.
Yeah, I mean,
fight me.
He's not wrong. I'm so tired. I forgot it was Sunday. Like,
I had to text her, and she
I got dressed up.
Whoops.
No, not really.
I got dressed. I got dressed. I wasn't even dressed. I was sitting in my dressing gown.
Clothes on.
I was so relaxed. I was sitting in my studio, just done some cleaning, and I just get this text. What time are you coming over? Ran upstairs, got dressed, and I was like, yep, I'm on my way.
Yeah, at like 2:30, I'm like, surely she didn't forget, no?
Yeah, no, I did.
No,
I was just so relaxed.
Shocking.
Yeah. I was like, I'm so tired. I woke up at like 8:30 today, so I was just like, nah, I'm not about it. I was the first one in the house awake, so like everything was dark, and I was just like, bruh, no, not today.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, what is today's episode?
So what are we doing, Conall?
We're
things. You peaked your mic so bad.
No, the waveform didn't touch the top.
Yeah,
we're good.
You were a little light on your mic went red.
Oh, okay.
So today, with more enthusiasm.
Hold on, my question was going to be: do you know what the episode is today?
Yeah, because I actually asked you yesterday.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
So today, last week you asked me to do something like paranormal, supernatural, or something. You were like, yeah, that'd be cool, because we haven't had it in a bit, other than some of the last week's stuff. Yeah, you were kind of like, we should do some more paranormal.
Ghosty.
Ooh, so today, it's not so much spooky stories, but it's kind of like the science
It's
why people experience paranormal situations.
Do you want to give us like a cooler
cases.
title
It's-
so people actually
it's
stay?
spookum adjacent. Like it's not actual spookums, it's spookum adjacent.
Spookum
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not like that word in any way.
Spookums. Yeah.
So I
need a cooler title. Like what? So,
the science behind the paranormal.
there we go.
Do
yeah.
you like that?
Yeah. That actually
The
sounds
science
like
So
something
I've
Ghosts.
collected a certain amount of reasons as to why, and I haven't gone too in depth, obviously, because I'm really bad at
researching.
research.
So we're
Doing
going to be
homework,
talking
studying.
about
How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things.
Nice. I'm
Some
ge- I'm-
long,
I'm-
some short.
I'm guessing we're going to be talking about like infrasound, Karman vortex,
Yeah,
emotional trauma, kind of
Electron-
poltergeisty
electronic
stuff.
waves. Some other obvious stuff. I don't even know what one of those things you said. What the hell was that second thing?
Karman vortex sound.
What is that?
Anyone who's familiar with the Dyatlov Pass incident has probably heard of Karman vortex
You know
sound.
way too much, just like random shit that like nobody knows
He just
about.
collects
Oh, yeah.
knowledge.
You should go on a game show.
Hey?
You should go on a game show.
I would love to. I would love to go on like Jeopardy or something. No, The Chase.
The Chase.
Hell
I
yes.
I actually
Oh,
really want to go on the Chase.
The Chase is like a staple in this household.
Yo, any studios
Yeah.
in New Zealand, if you want to do the Chase, you've got at least 2, maybe 3 contestants.
Hell,
That would be so bad. Honestly, I'd be
You can
so
just
shit.
sacrifice
Do
yourself.
they still produce Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
Actually,
think so.
I feel like if they did, it'd
No,
be
it
a
was-
European thing.
No, it was the
I don't know
Australian. It was
why.
the Australian
It
one
was
that used to air
Australian,
on
yeah.
Prime. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
There
know.
is an
any
Australian
game
who wants
show.
to be in a Shmaine still watches it. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Boomer.
that's just
It's
kind of
actually
like.
gotten super boring now because, like, like after each question they used to have that like suspense time.
Hmm.
That used to be annoying, and I used to always say, why don't they just get straight to the point? They get straight to the point now, and it's so much worse.
Oh, okay.
Because they're like, I think it's C, and he's like, so you're locking in C. Yep, that's correct. Right, moving on. And they don't give any time to like
they can't afford the airtime, so they gotta
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
faster.
like they just don't
Jeez.
give the thing to like, yep, you got it right. So it's just like, oh yeah, C, yeah, cool, you got that right for $100. Right, next question, cool.
No, you gotta have that little locking in C. And it's correct.
Yeah.
No, you gotta have
See-
those few seconds just like
Yeah.
ratchet up the tension.
Just a little
That's
bit.
enough time, like, because they used to drag it on for like 10 seconds, and you're like, bro, come on. But like, just 2 or 3 would give it the time that it needs, but yeah,
Oh,
they
and-
just ruin it.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
the little do
yeah,
sound effect while they're waiting. Yeah,
they
it's
don't
like,
even
yeah.
do that anymore. It's just they lock it
Really?
in, and like, you know, the like dialing up someone, it's like, like when
Yeah.
they get it right, it does that. But like
Mm.
after he's been like, yeah, you got it
Weak.
right, cool, moving on. So that sound's still playing like while he's reading out the new question. You're like, oh, okay.
Jeez,
So-
I haven't
And
watched that
like you
video
can
yet.
pass now, like it rotates through people. It's not it's not just one person that like tries to get to a million. So if you don't know the question, you can pass. And I think
Is that
there's
called like Millionaire Hot Seat or something?
yeah, but that
I thought
Oh,
it's a
that
separate
yeah.
program.
no, that
Yeah.
is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire now.
Oh.
Ugh.
Okay.
But when you
Yeah, that's
pass, you can't get the million. It drops down to like 500,000 or something. So by the time you've gone through all the people, the top prize is like 10 grand.
weak.
So you're like, oh,
That's a bit dumb.
But yeah, the Chase is on TV like Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, our parents still watch TV, so like broadcast TV. So
Yeah.
yeah, like, anytime you go into the living room on a Sunday afternoon, it's like you're always going to get stuck there for 5-10 minutes minimum.
Yeah.
It's
Like, just
that-
watching the
who's,
chase.
Who's the host of it? What's that guy's name?
Bradley Walsh.
Yeah, he's like
He-
always making
he's
fun of
so
somebody.
He's
funny.
brilliant. He's
so
amazing.
funny. He also
He
hosts
is single-handedly carrying Doctor Who at the moment. Sorry.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He's from the
He
companions.
he plays one of the companions, Graham.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I wish the writing for Jodie Whittaker was better because she is an amazing actress. She was fantastic in Broadchurch,
Mm.
but yeah, the writing is just doing her such a
Weak.
disservice. I haven't even watched the New Year's special yet. They're doing New Year's specials instead of Christmas specials now.
Weak.
Yeah,
Why?
ugh, I don't like
Ew.
it.
Like now?
Yeah, for like the last 2 seasons, they've been doing New Year's specials.
Mm.
I don't know. It's like it's not the same. Like you used to, sit down in front of the TV on Boxing Day and watch the Christmas special. No, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah. I remember when my mum was saying, she was like, when I move out, like, things I'll need to change. She was like, oh, yeah, and you need to get a TV. And I was like, why? It's like, I got my laptop, it's all good.
Games.
But then I'll just get a projector. The projector up. Because you can project it onto the entire wall instead of, like, this, like, little TV.
I mean, I'm a filthy console gamer, so,
Filthy.
Yeah. I'm sure you could hook that up.
Mr. PC Master Race over here.
Yes.
You could hook that up to a projector.
Probably.
It'd be a bit of a hassle.
I like my TV.
Yeah, but like it's worth it if you can project it onto an entire wall. It's worth it.
It's gonna look shit.
It's worth it.
It's gonna look shit.
No.
And if you don't have a
I'll
wall,
buy like a high
if you
quality
don't have a
projector.
wall of the right color, like if it's not a white wall and it's a different color,
Then I'll
you're
paint my
gonna
fucking wall white, bitch.
You're going to more effort, and you have to buy paint now, paintbrushes.
But if it's my house, it's gonna be sick.
When are you gonna be able to afford your own house?
Bro, okay, like actually, I went onto this website and it like calculates how much of a loan you can get to like buy whatever. The housing market has ruined me. The most I could like the most expensive house I could afford right now is like 200,000.
Yeah, that's why I don't think about it.
And I was like, the cheapest, like a 2-bedroom house now is like at least 400, and I was like, aha, rip.
Anyway,
Oh yeah, Paranormal.
actually starting. So I think we'll start off with
You're entertaining the camera.
yes. Electromagnetic waves and sort of like radio frequencies and whatnot. And now,
all right, tell me about it.
I'll say first, when I was researching all of these, obviously because paranormal is not really a scientific field, so there's not much on it. There are some studies, and some of the things I have put down, I did have some studies put in, fortunately. And there were actual university articles and what with all the proper studies and stuff. I'm like, fuck, I can't go for this entire thing.
It was like that looks like
take out the right bits and put them in and make this short.
That's too much like homework.
But anyway, yeah.
I'm sorry, let me. All right, now I feel included.
So, I'll start with this. So,
well, I did it away from the mic, so just completely derailing this episode. Oh my god.
Researchers in Canada, England, and elsewhere, so pretty much just researchers, I don't know why they had to add those two specifically, exploring what happens in the brain to create the illusion that something is haunted. So far, they have found evidence that some apparitions may be brain benders, the way they word it that way, it's weird, caused by spiking EMFs or electromagnetic fields, which probably known, but and possibly even extremely low-frequency sound waves known as infrasounds, so subtle that the ear does not register them as noise. So, obviously everybody knows about EMF.
Yes.
You having fun there?
That's
as like
so any ghost hunting show that you watch, and they've got the little box with the lights on it that go from red to green, and they do the little kind of sound effects. Yeah.
So a lot of obviously ghost hunters, they use that as presumable evidence for being, obviously ghost presence or whatever, but it could just be that the electromagnetic waves are in that haunted area, which lead to people thinking that it's there, even though it's not, obviously. So
because there's so many things just in a regular building that could produce electromagnetic waves or frequencies. Because if anyone remembers from high school physics class, anytime you have a wire and a magnet, or a wire with a current running through it, it creates a magnetic field.
Yeah.
So that is literally electromagnetism.
Yeah.
So even just getting close to wires running through a wall with
with an
EMF detector. Yeah.
I saw these YouTubers and they all had mic packs on them.
Yep.
And so they were standing there in a circle being like, oh my god, look at this reading.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly.
And I was like,
exactly.
Bro, you're literally all wearing mics. And then I think one of them put it in their pocket or something. They were like, oh bro, the light's going crazy. And it's your mic pack's in the pocket adjacent to the EMF reader.
Yeah, exactly. If these guys are walking around with cameras and lights and sound equipment on them, then that equipment itself is going to be producing electromagnetic frequencies, purely by merit of the electrical current running through wires. It's basic physics. Yeah.
There's too many things that can just influence it, and then they try to use it as evidence when. So what are they called? Confounding factors, I believe they're called, which influence the result, and thus it is a biased result, I believe, is what it results in, or whatever, statistics or something. I don't know. That's what I learned today, I think. But anyway, medical researchers have studied the effects of electrical fields on people's brains. Electrical stimulation to the angular gyrus of the brain, which I saw a picture of, which is, I think it's somewhere near the back, like kind of like back there, but I don't know. One of the 100th parts of the brain, but for example, the angular gyrus can cause the sensation of someone behind you mimicking your movements, and electrical stimulation in different parts of the brain has also caused people to hallucinate or seem to have near-death experiences.
Just the way you're like narrating this is just really reminding me of like Outlast 1. Like when you're like reading all the files and things like that about all the studies they did on people.
It's very shittily put together, I'll be honest. I chucked this together today, and so I'm kind of having like put words in where like the information.
You did your research today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had work yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and also the day before that. Did
you not have Tuesday off?
Yeah, I had Tuesday off, but I just.
Okay, so could you read that last passage again for me?
The medical researchers have studied the effects of electrical fields on the people's brains. Electrical stimulation to the angular gyrus of the brain, for example, can cause the sensation of someone behind you mimicking your movements. Electrical stimulation in different parts of the brain has also caused people to hallucinate or seem to have near-death experiences.
Okay, yeah, that tracks, because really all consciousness and thought is electrical signals being sent from one part of the brain to the other, like between synapses. So, any kind of electrical fuckery going on around the brain is going to affect, thought processes or God, I stumbled over that. Thought processes or perception. So
the brain is far too complicated to.
the brain
there's so many things that can go wrong with
it.
And like,
so where are these electrical signals coming from? Did I miss that part?
I couldn't actually find it. I did. It had this passage, but it didn't say how they were actually conducting it or how it was occurring. I mean, I think it'd be pretty easy to do, but like if they're specifically targeting that part of the brain, it's like maybe.
Is there any research? Like, is there anything in your research that relates to poltergeists? Because there is something I could bring up for that.
No, I didn't get anything on poltergeist, but I am about to go over a occurrence or a study that was published, which I can go through now if you wish.
Right. I mean, I'll just bring up the poltergeist thing quickly if you don't mind.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So there are theories among paranormal researchers around poltergeists specifically because they interact with like physical objects. That's like the defining feature. Because I've just been listening to a podcast on the Enfield poltergeist, which is a pretty famous case, happened in the UK in the mid-70s. It was the very loose basis for the second Conjuring movie, I believe.
Right.
Because Ed and Lorraine Warren were briefly involved with it. Like, they visited the house for a day and then fucked off back to America.
We can't do
did something,
this.
No. And that's what they pulled for the movie. But it's a fascinating case. But yet there were instances of the entity or whatever manipulating electronic devices like light bulbs and stuff. And it is common in poltergeist cases for that to happen. And the theory is that they... poltergeists are a completely different subject that we could go off on. But the prevailing theory is that they are manifestations of emotional trauma because they tend to pop up around specifically girls going through puberty and like in
very
places
specific. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and this is specifically the Enfield poltergeist, like bonded to an 11-year-old girl and was like, doing stuff around that house.
Thing.
we could do a whole episode on that. But poltergeists are known to manipulate electrical devices, and it's theorized that they may be constructed of electricity or composed of electrical signals. and that's how they are influencing people. Yeah, again, none of this
whole thing.
None of this is an exact science.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what I've heard or read, in the ether.
With a lot of the stuff I was looking at for this, or the research, it's not quite fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're dealing with something that's also like a... what would you even call it? Like a social thought, I guess. It's weird because obviously a lot of people have that belief that ghosts and what are real, and then they're dealing with the psychology of these people who think that ghosts real. And you can't fully explain it or whatever. You can't fully determine what these people think because neurology is just so goddamn complicated that you can't go through just every factor that could influence it.
Exactly.
It's a whole thing, man.
Are you good, Jen?
Yeah.
You're very quiet.
Just
Are you
kinda
absorbing it?
Yeah,
just kind of
I'm
staring
listening.
off into space.
Yeah. No, I'm listening. I'm
Okay,
absorbing.
Okay.
And I was on my phone because I was looking at it. I realised, because you were talking about Ed and Lorraine Warren, and I remembered, I was like, was it the episode that messed up? And it was the episode I did on the Occult Museum.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was the one that made... Oh, that was
so
such a good
disappointed.
episode.
So sad.
Especially with the demon thing that you guys were
Oh,
ballistic
yes. The doll, the
Yeah.
statue thing. Yeah.
Statue.
Man.
at. Such a good episode.
I just keep looking over at the dog. Yes, we have the dog in the room for,
Oh, yeah,
for this
hold on.
He's
recording.
been sleeping the whole time. I'm not going to move
No.
the webcam. I don't
Kaiser,
wanna fuck that
hey
shit.
bud,
No.
come over here.
Oh.
There he
I've
is.
awoken the beast. Hello.
Yeah. He was in the corner the whole time.
He's vibing.
Hey,
Oh,
bud.
he is. Where's your...
Lie down. Lie down.
No, he's not. No, is he?
Oh, he's going to sit down at least. Oh, there we go. Good boy.
On my lap. Yep.
Anyway,
Audience.
So,
This is Kaiser.
doggo.
He is a good boy.
Good pup.
Right, sorry, go on.
He's a
Yeah.
good boy.
So in one study by Michael Persinger, I believe you'd say it like that, a neuroscientist
Close enough.
at Laurentian University in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada,
Yes.
published in 2001, a Perpetual and Motor Skills Chronicles. The experience of a teenager who in 1996 claimed to be receiving nocturnal visits, one sexual, from the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
The 17-year-old girl who had sustained mild brain damage at birth, so that's already a red flag,
Nice.
said she also felt the presence of an invisible baby perched on her left shoulder. When Persinger and his
Is that
colleagues...
the ghost baby that she had?
Maybe. It
Yeah,
is
with
slightly
baby
concerning.
Jesus.
When Persinger and his colleagues investigated, at the behest of the girl's mother, apparently,
Of the girl's mother?
behest.
I'm
of
sorry.
She
girl's
asked
mother.
them to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
They found an electric clock next to the bed that was about 10 inches or 25 centimeters from where she placed her head when she slept. Tests showed that the clock generated electromagnetic pulses with waveforms similar to those found to trigger epileptic seizures in rats and humans. When the clock was removed, the vision stopped.
What are you doing?
Well, his head was hanging off the bed, so I was trying to shift
Yeah.
him back, but
Oh,
he's heavy.
dear.
Persinger determined that the clock, in combination with the girl's brain injury, were highly likely to have been contributing factors to the perceived nocturnal visits.
Okay, so sorry, what was there with the clock?
The clock was 25 centimeters from where she slept, and it was... Tests showed that the clock generated electromagnetic pulses with waveforms similar to those found to trigger epileptic seizures in rats and
Okay,
humans.
so this was the mid-90s, yeah?
Yes,
So
1996.
Okay, so presumably it was a digital clock then.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay,
It's highly
right.
likely.
Yeah, when you first read that, I was thinking, is the ticking doing it?
Mm,
Do it.
checking.
No, okay,
Nah,
so
would have been a digital.
okay, so we're looking at electrical signals messing with her brain chemistry.
Pretty much, and she's
Okay.
already got that brain injury as
Mm.
well, so it's like
Okay.
double whammy.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Have you
'cause
seen those people who claim to have sex with ghosts?
I
Oh boy.
believe I have.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Like, how messed up do you have to be? Like,
Sex ghosts are a whole other topic.
Sick ghosts.
the one I saw was like a woman just like
Sex
she like
ghost,
felt
sex
the
ghost.
presence of a ghost.
Baby,
and
I'm
then
a sex ghost.
Sir.
It's Tom Jones.
Cease your actions.
Anyway, so she
I thought it was funny.
She felt the presence of a ghost, and so just decided to like strip naked and lay down in her bed. And then apparently she was like, and I felt his presence, and I was just like, bruh, how high do you have to be?
Yeah, I mean, there's okay. I'm taking over.
Conall, what were you going to say?
Conall is unable to articulate his thoughts on that.
I've had a thought,
yes.
but you continue first.
I was going to say, there's that scene in Ghostbusters where Ray, Dan Aykroyd's character, basically gets sucked off by a ghost. And allegedly, that was based on an actual experience that Dan Aykroyd had. Allegedly.
Yeah,
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yeah, he's off his tree.
Oh, yeah. Dan Aykroyd is amazing.
He's mental, man.
Yeah. So what were you going to say?
Okay. In part with this, we can move on to the next one, which isn't actually the next one, but I'll just scroll down to it, which is obviously...
Let him out. Let him out. Okay, we're good.
Which is obviously sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
we've talked about this before, eh?
We have talked about sleep paralysis because I've experienced it once, and I've definitely talked about that.
Did you get sucked off by a ghost?
I did not get sucked off by a ghost, unfortunately. I'm kidding. Cursed. So obviously sleep paralysis. It's I'll just read out.
No,
the
wait,
Wikipedia.
hold up. What was your point? Or was you...
I'll get to it. Okay, wait. So, sleep paralysis is a state during waking up or falling asleep in which a person is awake but unable to move or speak. During the episode, one may hallucinate, hear, feel, or see things that are not there, which often results in fear. Episodes generally last less than a couple of minutes, and it may occur as a single episode or be recurrent.
Yeah, and it happens because... when you move into... Sorry, I'm totally...
I honestly have a passage there that I could,
I just want to know what your point was.
Okay, yeah, I want to see what your
what was your
research
point?
says.
Wait! For fuck's sakes! Okay.
Patience, Viceroy, patience, she will die.
So, sleep paralysis is caused by what appears to be a basic brain glitch at the interface between wakefulness and rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. During REM, you have intensely lifelike dreams. To prevent you from acting out these realistic dreams and hurting yourself, your brain has a clever solution, as they've put it, to temporarily paralyze your entire body. And, God, I don't like the way they've worded this. Your brain has a switch or a handful of neurochemicals that tilts you between sleep and wakefulness. Sometimes the switch fails, however, your brain inadvertently wakes up while your body is still under REM paralysis, leaving you stuck in a paradoxical state between the parallel realities of wakefulness and REM sleep. I do not like the way they worded that, but yeah.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much.
So, obviously hallucinations, right? Quite often, from what I've seen and what I researched, a lot of people, or a lot of cases where there has been sleep paralysis, many people have said that they have been greeted by incubus or succubus. Which, are you aware of what those are?
Yes,
so, yes, that may be a cause as to why people think they've done sexual things with ghosts.
Okay, but this woman married her ghost. So...
Yes, but remember, there's people who believe in these kind of things. And if they've also got sleep paralysis and other psychological, neurological things going on, that could lead her to believe.
There's a specific woman, like, her husband was, like, away on work or something. And, yeah, she's the woman who, like, stripped down, had sex with a ghost. She divorced her husband to get married to this ghost.
I wonder if that counts as some kind of paraphilia. Sexual attraction to objects?
Yeah.
No? I don't know, because I was just thinking about that lawsuit involving that woman who tried to marry the Brooklyn Bridge. I think it was the Brooklyn Bridge. It might have been the Golden Gate Bridge.
I feel like I've learned about, heard about
it
this.
It was a famous bridge.
I was about to say
learned to marry a bridge?
Yes.
Y'all ever married a bridge? It's a pretty Chad move.
She's like, he's such a hoe. Like thousands of people are with him a day.
Hang on, I'm gonna look this up because I don't believe that you've not heard about this.
While you're looking at that up, I'll just say it's another fact. Lifetime.
Bro, that should have been the episode. Sexual attraction to objects. Have you seen that guy that tries to have sex with his car?
Oh God, yes. Don't even.
What a neek.
I don't know.
Bro.
Lifetime prevalence rates derived from 35 aggregated studies indicate that approximately 8% of the general population, 28% of students, and 32% of psychiatric patients experience at least one episode of sleep paralysis at some point in their lives. Now, I don't actually remember
you're a psychiatric patient.
I don't actually remember what population they were saying from, but probably American. Let's be honest. And Americans are batshit crazy, so. But anyway, it is not surprising that, the students and the psychiatric patients, are the ones who experience more, because students, obviously, they'll be, like...
stressed. And
we
have the same stress levels as psych patients from the 1950s.
Ah.
Nice.
Lovely.
It's like, wow, that explains a lot.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Can
you do that next week, though? Like, people, like what did you call it? What did you call it?
Paraphilia?
Yeah.
Paraphilia.
Can you do that next week?
I was going to do vampires.
Oh, okay, don't do vampires. Yeah, do vampires. Okay, I might do that the week after then.
Yeah, go for it.
It just sounds so funny.
I want to see you find.
Yeah.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes. It was.
I don't remember what it was.
An Australian woman.
The bridge, right? Yes.
Yes.
How dare you talk about her husband that way?
Hang on a second.
It's just a common bridge.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's not like other bridges. 4 lanes, baby.
Yeah, it was an Australian woman who married the Le Pont de Diable bridge.
Sorry, married?
Yes, this is back in 2013.
How does that legally occur?
Yeah. How do you go to a law house and be like, I want to marry the bridge?
Yeah. It's a bridge called Le Pont de Diable in Serres in southern France.
I'll just imagine that was
in
perfect.
France. So did she live in France?
No. She apparently spent
got a green card.
decade traveling the world. Recording the vibrations in bridge cables with contact microphones and using them to create experimental music. So this is the kind of person we're dealing with here. I'm not going to say her name, but you can probably find it if you want.
Music. I have seen people that do that, but they don't get sexually attracted to the thing that...
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of things I don't want to be thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm reading some of the quotes from her in this article, and she's exactly the kind of person who would marry a bridge.
So batshit crazy.
Like I'm not trying to denigrate her sexual identity, but yeah, like her personality. Woof.
So
not good.
Did she stay in France to be with her bridge?
Did you say France? France.
Did she stay in France to be with her bridge?
I don't actually know.
But unfortunately,
but the marriage.
Imagine if that's how she got her green card. It was like, I'm married to a bridge, and they're like, yeah,
okay.
The wedding was blessed by the mayor of Saint Jean. The mayor of Saint Jean de Fort, which is a nearby town. Hey,
it must be a small town.
I don't know.
Imagine someone coming up to you being like, I need you to officiate my wedding. They're like, oh yeah, who's the groom? And you're like, yo, you're gonna love him. And she just drives you to a bridge. And everyone's like,
this is him.
So the name obviously translates to the Devil's Bridge. There were
this is getting worse. There
were 14 guests at the wedding. Okay, this is...
If that was my daughter, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't support the marriage. Like...
Yeah, So, this is an article from the Daily Mail, which is a UK newspaper. It's not the most,
reputable source.
Reputable, that's the word I was looking for, yeah.
There it is.
More of a tabloid, really. But some of the quotes from here... His being is very present, and I feel at peace in his strong embrace.
His present is very... Wait, what was the beginning of that?
His being is very present.
He's a bridge. You can't leave.
He makes me feel connected to the earth and draws me to rest from my endless nomadic wanderings.
Is that because he's connected to the earth physically?
Hang on. He is fixed, stable, rooted to the ground, while I am nomadic, transient, ever on the road.
Oh. Damn, okay.
So she married a bridge to find a sense of home?
He understands that I love other bridges and men. Ours is a love that embraces the vagaries of life as materialized in the swirling currents of the river that flows beneath his magnificent body.
So she's a swinger that's married to a bridge.
The Devil's Bridge is everything I could desire in a husband. Sturdy, trustworthy, sensual, kind, and handsome.
I mean, he'll never fucking leave.
Wow.
This is not a decision I undertake lightly. Just as our curves complement, we truly bring joy to each other, and the strength of his pylons will always carry me home.
Please don't tell me she has sex with the bridge.
I don't know.
What? I don't.
Does she not get arrested for
I
that?
don't like why she. I don't like the way she.
Well, the
Pylons.
the marriage is not legal. It's not legally recognized in France.
Good.
Yeah, and
But that's the thing. Technically,
she has yet to explain how she determined the sex of the bridge.
I mean, you can see certain objects and you can be like male, female. I mean, all boats are generally female and things like that.
She's not hurting anyone, so you know.
Unless she's having sex with the bridge, then that is hurting me.
I don't know.
Maybe mentally, but physically, no.
Mentally having sex with the bridge.
Okay, so
Really
having
hurt enough as it is.
Having completely sidetracked this episode, what are we up to?
So we finished
subject.
off sleep paralysis pretty
Cool.
much.
Yep.
Did you hear the? No, you did hear the fact. I was just wondering. Anyway,
Probably.
and then one of the biggies, one of the big ones, as to
This is only number 3, right?
Yep.
And you said you had 8.
Yeah, but the
Let's
other
go,
ones are
let's go.
smaller, I would say.
Okay, cool. So
So,
we're at 40 minutes.
Here we are.
yeah. So the big boy is carbon monoxide poisoning. This is a very common occurrence. So experience of paranormal contact occasionally include hearing or seeing inexplicable things, confusion, dizziness, weakness, and nausea. Perhaps more than coincidentally, these are some of the most common symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning. So,
So right before you're about to die, you see ghosts.
yeah, well, I'm about to tell you the science of carbon monoxide
The
poisoning.
science.
Seagulls?
Seagulls? Did you say seagulls? What?
No?
What did you
Seagulls?
say?
I said right
Science?
before you're about to die, you see...
Gulls.
Ghosts.
Okay, right. I don't know why I heard seagulls.
Okay. This is a very basic.
I don't know what sort of seagull.
It's a very basic breakdown.
Ugh.
So, carbon monoxide poisoning occurs when the gas is inhaled into the lungs and travels through the bloodstream.
No shit.
Well, no. In the bloodstream, carbon monoxide binds to the protein hemoglobin. Normally, hemoglobin picks up oxygen molecules, which consist of 2 oxygen atoms, if you didn't know, and transports them to the body's tissues for use. The tight binding of carbon monoxide with the hemoglobin prevents oxygen from reaching the body's tissues, causing cellular death. The lack of oxygen reaching the brain due to the carbon monoxide poisoning can lead to a number of symptoms, obviously, like I said before, visual and well, there was the other ones before, obviously, and then including the visual and auditory hallucinations behind some lifelike paranormal experiences.
Okay, so because the carbon monoxide is bonding to the hemoglobin in the blood, it's preventing oxygen from bonding to that same hemoglobin.
Pretty much.
Okay,
and
cool.
it's not
Got
getting
it.
carried, and then the cells are like, no oxygen.
And then your brain is deprived of oxygen, and you see ghosts.
It's a whole thing. So,
Your
Cool.
brain is
Okay.
just like,
Yeah.
I'm
pretty,
gonna...
pretty simple, you know?
Yeah.
Your brain's like,
I'd
I'm
say
gonna
that, yeah.
think up people that are gonna save you, but they
You're-
probably won't because they don't exist.
Nah.
Not good. So,
I mean, you probably wouldn't be aware of it happening.
no.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, you wouldn't, because it's the gas is also colorless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Colourless,
that's
odorless.
why it's so dangerous.
Mm.
Colorless, odorless. Yeah, that's
Same
it.
with chlorine. Well, it's not quite colourless, but...
Chlorine.
Did you know LPG is naturally odorless?
Really?
Like the gas that you use in your like gas heating systems, it's actually odorless. They add a chemical
Odor.
odorant to it,
That's
so that
probably
you
a
can
good
actually
move.
smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that's a fun fact.
Yeah. I mean, it's smart.
Yeah. I'll go off with. There's a couple of cases here. But they're not very well fleshed out. But like everything I've pretty much.
You're supposed
said.
to be the Richard. You're supposed to be like, this is the facts, and like.
I'm not gonna say they're the facts if they can't be completely.
Maybe it's supposed to make it sound interesting for us, not being like.
Shut the fuck up.
It is what it is.
So, the confusion of carbon monoxide poisoning for spiritual haunting was recorded in a 1921 issue of the American Journal of Ophthalmology by Dr. William Wilmer.
Ophthalmology?
Ophthalmology.
Ophthalmology.
I don't know why I said it like that. Wilmer writes of the distress of his patient, Mrs. H, who tells him the troubles of her family has been... I don't like that.
What was that?
I don't like the pacing that I went with.
All right.
Who tells him the troubles her family has been experienced since moving into an older and decrepit house. What a surprise. Frequently using gas lights in the absence of electricity, Mrs. H and her family began to be tormented by visions, voices, and physical illness.
Can you imagine going to your doctor and being like, "Look, doctor, we're seeing all this sort of shit." It's like, do you have a gas leak? Maybe.
Perhaps. Oh.
I mean...
He just walks into the house and he's like, the fuck?
Bro, there's gas in here. The family was petrified by the sounds of footsteps and moving furniture in empty rooms and by sinister apparitions in the dark. Mrs. H and her family had unexplained fatigue, pain, and headaches for months. But this was not an isolated incident. In 2016, it's quite a jump from 1921 to 2016.
I was just looking out the window.
Yeah.
I know, but when I looked, the curtain started moving.
So, ooh, spooky. In 2016, investigative. Oh my god.
Yes.
Journalist Carrie Poppy discussed a similar paranormal experience in a TED Talk.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Welcome to my TED Talk. Poppy described agonizing chest pains and a constant sense of dread. Despite seeing psychiatrists, calling ghost hunters, and trying cleansing rituals, Poppy was still afflicted by the supernatural. In both cases, the seemingly paranormal activity was actually caused by carbon monoxide poisoning. In Mrs. H's house, the family's furnace was spewing carbon monoxide into the home instead of the chimney. And similarly, when Poppy made a call to a gas company, she discovered her home had a leak. Her symptoms had been caused by a near-lethal amount of carbon monoxide inhalation. Like, bruh.
Awesome.
What year was this, or doesn't it say?
The TED Talk woman was 2016, and the other one was 1921. So quite a jump, but...
Okay.
Yeah, and there's lots of other cases, and it's quite often found that, like...
Jen, you started this.
Locations...
I can't stop yawning.
Just don't yawn. Locations that are known to be haunted houses are often decrepit old houses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quite often it's chalked up to carbon monoxide poisoning.
You got pipe trouble.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, I had to like burp, but didn't quite burp, and it was like an in between. And
it's like going to like abandoned warehouses and things like that, and they're like, oh my gosh, like there's gonna be things here. Like like your brain also just kind of like thinks that sort of stuff up because you're petrified. So you're like,
creepy stuff be creepy.
But also when they said that they're seeing stuff, if there was a gas leak, you know how like I'm sorry, what did I miss?
I said in very incomprehensible language, there's a hair in my mouth.
We could never ever be one of those like serious crime podcasts.
No.
Oh no. I mean, we've seen that from my serial killer episodes.
Please tell me vampires isn't going to be a two-parter.
I mean, I don't know.
So
I don't know.
No.
We don't know until we get there.
Every one of your parts is more than one part, let's be honest.
No.
Hey,
I challenge you to doing a one-parter.
Impossible.
a 3-hour long one-parter. No, I don't actually know. I haven't started research yet. So.
Okay, good.
And I mean, we don't know until we get there.
Part.
We don't know until we get to
one
recording.
One part, sir.
That's up to you guys.
Don't trust him. Don't trust him.
You get the hair out your mouth.
Yes. A continuation, in a way, I guess, in which, like, haunted locations, obviously old and decrepit. Another cause of paranormal cases is toxic mold and spores.
Yep.
Are we living in The Last of Us? Wait, no, that's
yes.
Yeah, I was right.
Yes.
Yes.
You
got it.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, almost fucked up. It is known that some fungi, such as ergot fungus, may cause severe psychosis in humans. However, the links between exposure to toxic indoor molds and psychological effects in people are not well established. It's not very, not too many studies have been done on it. Like, I looked around, there was one study that kept coming up.
Yeah.
For some reason. It was some guy in London or whatever. Some Christopher guy, I think.
Yeah,
Did you know that there's bacteria that zombifies ants?
Yep, cordyceps.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine if that was
I found
in
it.
humans?
Well, that's what the fungal infection from The Last of Us is based on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's whack.
Oh yeah, that'd be terrifying.
Like yeah. I saw this video of this ant that was pretty much what's the word I'm looking for? Not disintegrated. What's the word I'm looking for? When we die, we
decompose.
Decompose. There we go.
The one.
It was pretty much decomposed. Its whole head, half its head was missing and half of its abdomen was missing because it had been it started rotting, but it was still walking because of this parasite, whatever that was in it. And I was like, bruh, that's so gross.
Yeah, it's very creepy. Yeah.
I mean, going back to that, the mention of rye ergot just kind of spurred my memory because I've heard of that being involved in something.
This is the first time I've heard it, I'll be honest, but you're the collection of information
that
the whole
walking
universe,
encyclopedia.
the whole universe holds. You could contain every bit of information there for some reason.
And I'm just trying to find where I've heard that before. It was in relation to some kind of infection because obviously it's a fungus that affects rye, which is a grain that's used for, among other things, bread and alcohol.
A main staple in the West.
Yeah.
Should have just had rice.
Yeah, I've definitely.
I mean, if you find it, we'll come back to it. But we're going to keep this ball rolling because we're at 52 minutes.
It's not that bad. I was going to say the mycotoxins produced by black mold are neurotoxins, which lead to varying neurological symptoms, feelings of brain fog, dizziness, mood swings, hallucinations, anxiety, depression, seizures, and numbness are just a few of the nervous system effects.
Just from black mold that you find in your house and things like that?
Yeah, in severe cases, yeah. It can happen.
Bro, our house is not anymore, but it used to be full of mold because the back end of our house is... I don't know how they built it. There's no insulation, because when you go into the ceiling, you can't get to the back end of our house. I don't know why. It's just how the house was built. So the back end of our house used to get hella mold, and we'd always have to scrub it off and whatever. But it used to be so bad. That actually probably explains a lot.
Our old flat was not amazing because we were right next to the ocean.
Yeah.
So it was always It wasn't damp, but by the time we moved out,
cold.
There was, we were just getting a lot sicker than we used to, and we scrubbed we scrubbed the walls clean when we moved out of there. And it was not great.
Nasty.
Yeah. We're a lot better where we are now. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Mold, don't mess with it.
Mold ain't good. Yeah, so pretty much that seems like one of the factors that haunted houses are thought to be haunted because there's so many biological factors and whatnot that can lead to affecting the brain and causing people to believe. And we can continue even further on to the next one, which is the power of suggestion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's those people who, you talk about something, they're I think I might have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so empirical attempts to explain ghost and haunt-related perceptions center frequently on psychological factors. One significant variable is suggestibility. Generally, researchers found associations between suggestibility and belief in the paranormal, and that experimental manipulation of verbal suggestion can influence perception and recall of paranormal phenomena. So pretty much, if you're going to say to somebody, that house is haunted, they're gonna be more likely to believe that the house is haunted or any other thing they come to contact which might lead further to them believing it because they've had that suggestion made to them. It's gonna bias their thought.
Oh, definitely. You it's like when you watch a horror movie, right? Like I don't know, something about a ghost, right? And then you walk around your house at night, and usually you're not scared, but like after you've watched that movie, you're primed to think maybe there's a ghost here. Yep. Or a murderer who's broken in and is going to kill me.
I get it.
Speaking of,
I have one of those stories after I watched the movie Hereditary, because at my uni flat we always used to have horror nights.
Nice.
At my flat specifically, because I don't know, my flat was like in between everyone, so great. You know, like everyone can like leave; they can go back to their own houses. It's fine. I was stuck there, and after the movie, so I turned all the lights off and everything. And our microwave started beeping, like going off, like kind of like a timer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, okay, cool. And I like opened it, closed it, because I was like, oh, all right, don't know what it is. 5 minutes later, started beeping again. So I turned it off at the wall, unplugged it, and this thing came back on. I unplugged it, so I was like, nope, not dealing with this today. And it came back on, and I was like, nope. Went into my room, locked my door, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not getting killed today.
Yeah. Salt circle around the bed, iron poker, yep.
Oh, man. I was just like, bro, what the fuck? So it was at like 1 o'clock in the morning, too, because like we used to have like late night horror nights.
You call that late?
Well, I mean... Well...
Mr. Stays Up Late, big boy pants.
No, we used to do horror movie nights back in high school, and like me and my mates, and it was we went way later than that.
It depends, but see,
or
but that's
earlier,
like
I guess, if you.
But that was a sleepover, wasn't it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, most of us had uni the next day.
Okay. Yeah, you just pull an all-nighter.
No.
Copious amounts of coffee.
No.
Yes.
I always found like after I remember it's always when I'm going to the toilet because the
you're vulnerable there.
Yeah, hallways
and the
hallways and blind doorways. Yep.
The bedroom at the end of the hallway. Every time I glance into it and like.
But also there's a window right there as well.
Yeah.
So like when you look into that room, you don't see a wall, you see a window.
Yeah.
So it's always like. Yeah.
Anyway, what was I doing?
It's the same with our hallway because we have all the rooms kind of at the end. Like they kind of make dark patches, obviously, because like the light sort of goes in and whatever. It's gonna make like dark patches into the hallway. And so if you walk past the hallway real quick, you're kind of like, I saw a shadow.
Panic.
Yeah.
So there was a experiment, and I'll read out what happened.
Experiment 626.
Shut the fuck up.
Stitch.
Participants watched a video of an alleged psychic seemingly bending a metal key by the power of psychokinesis. Half the participants heard the fake psychic suggest that the key continued to bend after it had been put down on the table, and half did not. Additionally, participants were exposed to either a negative social influence, a stooge co-witness reporting that the key did not continue to bend, or no social influence, or a positive social influence, a stooge co-witness reporting that the key did continue to bend. Participants who were exposed to the verbal suggestion, which was the psychic suggesting that it's bending, were significantly more likely to report that the key continued to bend. Additionally, more participants reported that the key continued to bend in the positive social influence condition compared to the other two social influence conditions. Finally, believers in the paranormal were more likely to report that the key continued to bend than non-believers. So yeah, pretty substantial that the power suggestion works.
Yeah, people tell you something happens, you're going to believe
and things like that. Especially like there was this program we were watching. It was these people losing weight. They gave half of them weight loss pills, the other one half placebos. And almost, I think actually a little bit more in the placebo side, like lost the same amount of weight, but it was like pretty much like 50-50 to like what worked. And I was like,
yeah, power suggestion, placebo, that kind of thing is very strong.
Could you imagine how mad you'd be though? Like, because they had to take, I think, 2 pills a day. Could you imagine how mad you'd be at the end of it? They're like, it was fake. And you're like, I mean, you lost the weight, so I guess you can't really be too mad.
Yeah, shouldn't have told me, bitch.
Yeah.
I'd be more surprised than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh shit. Because it was like obese people. And I'm like, you have to exercise with it, but this will help you.
Yeah.
and they lost like stones, and I was like,
No, it'll be the exercise.
Yeah.
Exercise and diet, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was literally, and then they were like, it was a placebo. So many people got like actually mad. They were like, I like signed up for this. So I don't know if they had to pay for it or not. I don't think so. But
I doubt it.
yeah, it was like
You-
part of
you
this whole thing.
Don't you usually get paid for taking those tests?
They got what they asked for. They lost the weight.
Yeah.
No, just moving on
Donkeys.
from that one.
People be crazy.
Yeah.
So
What's next?
this kind of relates to what we were talking about. Is pareidolia. Heard
Yep.
of it? Yep.
Yes.
So
It-
pareidolia is.
oh, pick me.
He's the host.
Do you want to
No.
answer? You can.
Yes, please.
Lee
He
for
can
30 points.
What
uh,
is pareidolia?
Pareidolia, the phenomenon of seeing faces where there are none.
Yes.
Yeah.
So pretty much, you know, like those famous photos of like the Mars crater and stuff, and seeing like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a face on Mars or whatever, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it and you were saying at the end of your hallway, with the way the light like goes into the doorways and stuff, you perceive that there are things that are not there, and everybody experiences it.
Humans are incredibly good
Yeah.
at this. Yeah.
We walk into the I'll walk into the living room and be like, oh, that lamp, some kind of shady. Like, that's not a person, is it? Standing in the corner of my room, like it.
Yeah. Anything.
Continue.
Oh my god. Yeah. Anything that looks even vaguely like two eyes and a mouth, like the human brain tends to recognize it as a face. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
Well, especially when you look at cars. And you're
yes,
like,
all the time. yeah.
yeah.
And because it's a survival thing.
Mm.
Yeah. Because like if you're able to recognize a face, like hidden somewhere, whether it's a predatory animal or another human potentially going to kill you, if you can recognize faces like that, you have a much higher chance of survival, which is why we've evolved with that ability.
Yeah. So there is.
So I just completely hijacked your
No,
thing.
no, it
'cause
is
something I
fine.
find fascinating.
I didn't actually have much on it because it's such a simple thing that everybody knows.
Yeah.
But I do have.
never heard of like the actual
Well, not
name
the
before,
name,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
know the concept. You've
Yeah.
experienced the concept. Everybody has.
Yeah.
It's just everything.
Did you
it's
know
something that every human
that your
does.
face, like even though your face, even though your brain recognizes faces like that and things like that, apparently your brain can't make up faces. So like every face you see in a dream or whatever is someone you've actually seen in real life.
That's
like
not-
your
I
brain
believe
can't.
that,
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
no,
For some
that's fair.
reason, your brain can't like make a new face.
Do you reckon the same as like if you try to draw a face from scratch, like you'd use other faces?
Yeah.
You would definitely use other faces for reference. You wouldn't be able to just be like create a face, a brand new face. That
Well, that's what I
doesn't
think
exist.
people do. Like when they draw and things like that, they take multiple images of things they have seen before
Mm.
Well, I think.
and kind of like combine them to make a new thing.
Well, imagine you've been. Let's say you've been locked in a room for your whole life, and you've only seen your face and maybe the face of one other person ever. But you're really good at drawing, and you go to draw a face. You're not going to have that much reference material to work with, right?
You'd probably
Yeah.
just do combinations of your face and that person's
Yeah,
face.
you're only going to have those set types of facial features to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that absolutely makes sense, yeah.
Unless you get really creative and just create like an amalgamation, like
Yeah.
ugh.
Well, I mean, you
Technically,
could do like one
amalgamation
of
be a
your eyes, one of
combination,
their
yeah.
eyes, and which would like alter the like way
Yeah.
of the face.
Like,
and
Yeah,
things
so
like
it'd still be them as
Yeah.
the basis. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, actually, no, I think about that. Yeah.
yeah. Unless like you're white and the other person's Asian, then it doesn't really work in like facial structures
You
and things like that.
can still combine features.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but I'm saying,
you're
like,
Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be limited to those particular references
yeah.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
you're able to draw on, yeah.
Which I find so interesting because I can't draw for toffee from my brain, but
I can't draw at all, really.
I can draw like quite well from reference images, but I can take like if I'm trying to draw a person, I don't know. I was trying to come up with a. Like, if I'm trying to draw a person at a certain angle, I can take like two different images and combine them to try and get that sort of angle.
Oh, right,
But
yeah.
If you just said, "Oh, draw this person doing this," I'd be like,
No, I
reference.
cannot.
So even if those two photos aren't exactly what I need, I can combine them to make that. but I can't just do it from the get-go.
Right.
And it sucks so much because I wish I was just that person that's just like, what? Like, one of the guys I used to do special effects with, he was an amazing drawer. Like, he always brought his iPad to school and he could draw like a full person. You know the, what's his heritage? I think he's, I don't want to get this wrong, but those dancers that wear like the big headdresses and things like that. It's a kind of like Asian, I'll show you after. But anyway, he could draw one of those women, like one of those dancers in like 10 minutes.
Jeez.
And it's like all their like jewelry and things. And I was just like, bro. I remember I did a self-portrait once and it actually kind of looked like me like pretty well. And I was like, this took me an hour and a half. And he was like, really?
Excuse you?
Yeah, he was like, what?
Wow.
He was like, that's good. And he was trying to be like real nice, but he's just amazing at drawing. And I was just like, bro.
Yikes. So I did have another study for this. So it's by a man called David Schmales. I don't know why I say it like that. A psychologist in England at Northumbria University in Newcastle upon Tyne. I hate that is what it's called, but
why?
Anyway, it's just weird.
It's a city called Newcastle on the River Tyne.
Why did they have to say it was?
Oh my god! Move on.
Stratford upon Avon, Clacton on Sea.
Yeah, but nobody says that.
Yes, they do. Those are place names.
In one 2018 study, Smales' team tested whether this might also be true for alpha people, which is obviously the pareidolia. They recruited 82 volunteers. First, the researchers asked a series of questions about how often these volunteers had hallucination. Whoa, I can't say that properly.
You get there?
Hallucination-like experiences. For example, do you ever see things other people cannot? And do you ever think that everyday things look abnormal to you? Next, the participants looked at 60 images of black and white noise. For a very brief moment, another image would flash in the center of the noise. 12 of these images were faces that were easy to see, another 24 were hard to see faces, and 24 images showed no faces at all, just more noise. The volunteers had to report whether a face was present or absent in each flash. In a separate test, the researchers showed the same volunteers a series of 36 images. 2/3 of them contained a face pareidolia. The remaining 12 did not. Participants who had initially reported more hallucination-like experiences were also more likely to report faces in the flashes of random noise. They are also better at identifying those images that contain face pareidolia. So yeah, pretty much people who had like beliefs before in paranormal and, just they could identify it more because they're just like
the more
that's just the way their brain is like
wired,
and it's like it's like biased, I guess, because they've experienced things in the past, so they're more likely to believe it in the future.
Skeptic's the right word, right?
Skeptic is
someone who
believe.
Yeah. So if you're a skeptic, you're probably not going to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense to see like faces and whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna.
So even if you do see it, you're gonna be like, nah, there must be something else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty simple. You know, probably didn't need to study for that, but everything needs to study pretty much.
But there's so many things that like have studies and things like that, and you're like, why? Why was this necessary?
Yeah. Why?
Are you about to sneeze? Oh, gross.
I was about to burp.
Be more constructive with your feedback. Part of the Concords, don't worry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I fucking heard that. So I'm like, what the hell was that? For fuck's sakes. Sorry, my brain blanked.
You're right there, champ.
Yeah, no, I'm got two more, right? So...
Okay, let's blast through these.
The next one is intentional blindness. So the brain's picture of reality sometimes includes things that aren't there, but it can also completely miss things that are there. This is called... No, I said that wrong. It was inattentional blindness, not intentional. Some strange experience that people blame on ghosts involve unexplained sounds or movements. A window may seem to be open all by itself, but what if somebody opened it and you just didn't notice before you... because you were so absorbed in something else. That's a lot more likely than a ghost.
Yeah.
So...
so when you like swear something's happened.
Yeah, so you pretty much... You focus on something and then you don't really... You don't realize things are occurring because you're just so focused on the thing. And then you kind of... I would say people who are more likely to believe in the paranormal, they will ignore the other factors the other external influences that could lead to the ghost or whatever.
It's kind of like. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I had something like this, but it's like wasn't related to paranormal or anything like that. But like the thinking something had happened, and like I swear I'd done that. There was this book I had. I don't even remember what the fucking book is now. Like, but I swore I took it to school. And, like, because I remember, like, showing people in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, because I showed such and such, and I was carrying it to here, because we were talking about the different things in this book, and I put it in my locker. And then, because I needed it for something for that day.
Yeah.
And then when it got to that class, I didn't have it. And I was like, fuck, I've lost this book. I've left it somewhere. And I was looking for it all day, and I was panicking, because it was, like, quite an expensive book.
Yeah.
Don't remember what it was now. When I got home, it was sitting in the garage.
Oh.
And I was like... I swear we were talking about it this morning. I showed people the book. How is it here? And it was such like a big phenomenon for me. I was just like, dude, no, I had it this morning.
Yikes. Yeah.
It was such
I feel like I've definitely had that before as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like if you're,
it's like you're replacing
just doing something on autopilot, you're not really thinking about it, and you move something, and then, you snap back, and it's like,
I had
where has this thing gone?
I did not
move it. I was gonna say I straight up had like a fourth wall moment when I was researching this because I was reading about this and like the intentional blindness, and then I thought for a second, I'm like, holy shit, I haven't been aware of my surroundings for like the last hour. Like and then I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about things behind me, and I'm like, wow, okay, that was really easy to zone out. Like, shit.
It happens to me while driving all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you ever get that where you suddenly
like,
realize,
forget that you're driving.
I've driven the last 5 minutes just on autopilot.
I think I've only had that like twice.
Really?
Because I really try to stay attentive because I don't want to be a shit driver.
No, I mean, like, I'm inattentive, but it's generally like on a stretch with no road, like just a straight road, no intersections or anything. Like,
me, every time I drive over the highway, I'm just like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I feel like it's easier there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of easy.
Well, literally to get here, I have to drive, I take, 2 turns? Like, the entire way, I just drive straight here.
true, yeah.
The whole way is just straight.
Yeah, I'm usually listening to podcasts while I'm driving, so so I'm like maybe focusing on that.
I just listen to the radio. I haven't got time to set up like even Jet. Like every time he gets into the car, he takes like 10 minutes to leave because he like plugs in his phone, looks for a song.
Mine usually auto connects within like 10 seconds.
Oh really? I think he uses Northscoot. I'm not sure, but like he like plugs in his phone and then he's like scrolling for a song. And I'm like, bro, like I ain't got time for this. I turn on my car and I leave.
Yeah, I just have a playlist of podcast episodes that I put on, or I just have my regular playlist. I just hit shuffle and go.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me.
Yeah, that's weird. Why?
I was just like, that's just so much time. Like 10 minutes just like figure like
do it before you get in the car. Yeah.
Right? Like I'll like be saying bye to him. He'll get in the car and he's just sitting there, and I'm like standing there waving. And I'm like, I'm gonna go inside now. Like you're taking way too long to leave. Like,
I should leave.
Yeah.
The
last one.
a little bit more on this. If you have trouble keeping lots of information in your memory or paying attention to more than one thing at once, then you risk missing sensory cues from the environment around you, and you might blame any misperceptions that result in a ghost. In one 2014 study, Christopher French, psychologist in England at Goldsmiths University of London, and his colleagues found that people with high levels of paranormal beliefs and higher tendencies to get absorbed doesn't make sense, also more likely to experience inattentional blindness. They also tend to have a more limited working memory. So I guess they can't really, like, store things well, or they can't multitask as well comparatively. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's whack.
I kind of zoned out during that, honestly.
I also did a little. It wasn't very well put together, this part. This is where I started to lose focus when I was researching, I'll be honest.
Okay, so basically it all boils down to you do something, but you're not paying attention.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
And then you just blame it on something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, gremlins.
Yeah. And the last one, critical thinking and reasoning capability. So...
All right.
Yep. Critical thinking is the analysis of facts to form a judgment. The subject is complex and several different definitions exist, which generally include the rational, skeptical, unbiased analysis or evaluation of factual evidence. Critical thinking is self-directed, self-disciplined, self-monitored, and self-corrective thinking. It presupposes assent to rigorous standards of excellence and mindful command of their use. It entails effective communication and problem-solving abilities, as well as a commitment to overcome native egocentrism and sociocentrism. You're aware of what those are? There was a lot of words in there. Let's be honest.
Can I read that? Just
it was a whole thing. Did you follow that at all?
No, I'll be honest. No. I was waiting for the sum up.
It's like so obviously you grow up in a certain culture, or just a way of thinking, really, and with critical thinking and like reasoning ability, you want to pull from outside your way of thinking, the culture you've grown up in. So you want to take from like not within what you've experienced. You want to take like other people's experiences and just not really biased.
Yeah, so
it's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, what you're specifically describing there is sociocentrism.
Yeah,
which is when you have a way of thinking that is informed by the culture that you've grown up in.
Okay.
And egocentrism is when you have your way of thinking and your own point of view of the world, and you have difficulty seeing things from another person's point of view. Has someone ever done something and you've thought, why did you do that? Like, what possible reason could you have for it? Yeah.
That's why we have so many conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers and whatnot, because they're so centered on their own opinion and they can't critically think about things like outside.
When everyone was like, COVID was because of 5G.
Yeah, so critical thinking is basically the ability to think critically about things. You take the evidence that you're presented with, you do your research, you figure out what lines up like in these different viewpoints, what doesn't, why doesn't it line up, and use that to inform your worldview. Yeah, rather than just assuming one thing is true and refusing to listen to anything to the contrary. Yeah.
So, a study, once again, was conducted to assess the relationship between critical thinking and belief in the paranormal. 180 students from 3 departments, psychology, arts, and computer science, completed one measure of reasoning, the paranormal belief scale, by Toback and Milford in 1983, and a scale of paranormal experiences. I didn't know it was a thing, but and half of the subjects filled out the Conall critical thinking test by some other people, and the Watson-Glasser critical thinking appraisal, respectively. So half of them did the paranormal thing, it seems, and half of them did the critical thinking or whatever. The results show no significant correlation between critical thinking, paranormal beliefs, or experience. Reasoning ability, however, had a significant effect on paranormal belief scores, but not on paranormal experiences. Subjects with lower reasoning abilities scored higher on traditional paranormal belief and New Age philosophy than did subjects with higher reasoning abilities. Results suggest that those who have better reasoning abilities scrutinize to a greater extent whether their experiences are this is not put together. Have sufficient justification for belief in the reality of these phenomena. So it's pretty much people who can, like, what we were saying before. They can think, pretty much, and not be dumbasses and be pulled in by what they already believe. They can think outside of what
they can actually
believe.
have like a conversation.
Okay, so basically it's so Sorry, I was looking at that paranormal scale while you were talking, but I think I got the gist of it. Is that your propensity to believe in the paranormal is like directly correlates to your critical thinking abilities.
Yeah.
Like your ability to think through, like all the stuff that we just talked about. You know, a gas leak or mold or
it all comes together.
Sleep paralysis. Like, are you able to critically think through? Okay. Was it this? Here's the evidence for that. Okay, no, it wasn't. Was it this?
Yeah.
It could possibly be this based on the evidence that I had. That rather than just, experiencing
It's
something.
demons.
Rather than just experiencing something and immediately going, it was a ghost.
Yeah.
It has to have been. There's no other explanation.
Yeah.
And then
so
someone's like, actually, here's the explanation. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's people with a lack of brain cells.
Yeah.
Like,
Pretty
Essentially.
much.
so that was all I had researched. There's probably a bit more.
There's probably a lot more. On
Probably a lot
didn't-
more.
Yeah.
But
I honestly thought you were going to touch on infrasound.
I didn't. I was going to include it with the electromagnetic waves because there is stuff on it, obviously, and it is a part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much just.
I mean,
sound
Real,
waves and stuff.
real quickly. There is a particular frequency of it's 19 hertz, which is a sound wave with it oscillates 19 times a second, and that is you might have heard it referred to as the fear frequency.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly at that specific frequency causes like vibrations in the eyes and ear canal, and can cause visual and audio hallucinations.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I think the Mythbusters did an episode on it and didn't get any really conclusive results. And obviously there's been heaps of studies on it, and you can actually like find recordings of 19 hertz hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds what?
19
Sorry,
hours.
I'm looking at a link to a YouTube video titled 18.98 hertz, the ghost frequency for 12 hours. So, you can find
Who's
recordings.
Gonna watch that? Yeah.
I'd do it. Hell yeah.
Should do it.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do a live stream of you just sitting there for 12 hours?
Let's do it. I mean,
seeing
not
what
12
happens?
hours. I would maybe do it for like 10, 15 minutes. Like,
That's
See
not
if it-
enough.
That's weak.
why not?
You need to do it for at least an hour. You just have to sit there in silence for an hour.
Inside, I don't know if I could do inside. I'll sit there with a. Actually, I have some books that I need to get through. So let's do that. Let's do
Oh
it.
my gosh, I could imagine.
He's just
that.
reading the book and like the words start moving. He's like, I can't even read anymore. No.
It's like, guys.
Just like eyes start crossing. Like,
Yeah.
ugh. Yeah.
I can no longer read. Oh god.
That'd be a banger of a video, but like I don't want to like mess up my ears for a video, like
I'll do it.
I think it'd mess up your
I'll do
ears.
it.
Just you'd.
for an hour.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Sure, go for it.
Let's do it. Okay.
I'm
We'll
not
do-
gonna do it.
You and I, we will sit in this room.
I didn't volunteer.
Yes. Yeah,
You've been
I'm
voluntold.
volunteering you.
I've already dealt with sleep paralysis.
You've
So
been
have I.
You've been voluntold.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Hell
I
yeah.
haven't, so I don't need to start now. Thank you for watching this week's episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below any episodes that you want us to do in the future.
We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? You guys
You know
had
what?
fun.
Next time you can't make it to a recording, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Hell
I'll-
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
We'll get a big old subwoofer and do it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
we
We're good.
got one.
I'll
We're
turn
good.
the bass
We're good.
all the way up.
Hell
and
yeah.
just
Yeah.
go like,
It has to be for an hour. You guys just
No,
have to.
look, probably nothing's gonna happen, but
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I doubt it.
all right. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ZeroFunction Pod. We are actually uploading stuff there now. Apparently. Well, I am. The Twitter is
The
active.
Twitter is active. The
Do your
Instagram,
job.
yeah, the Instagram will be active. Probably.
Oh my God.
Probably after this week, once the jewelry is dropped, that I'm doing. Oh yeah. Follow my Instagram. I'll make Conall link it. I'll make him link
I still
it.
have
Yes.
to remember to link the social media. I keep forgetting to do that. I need to do it in the default description. So
Yes.
I
Jen's
need to
new
remind myself.
Jen's new jewelry line. It's called Control Alt Delete. And yes, I know.
Yes, it is.
I
You
pay attention.
remembered?
Yo.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was called? Did you remember?
Yes.
So that's on Instagram. Check it out.
It's dropping on the 15th, which is the day after this comes out.
Yep.
It's on Saturday.
You can find Jen on Instagram at I am Genevieve, and also Control-Alt-Delete for her jewellery line.
And on
Conall,
YouTube.
Yes, on YouTube as well. Conall, you're on Twitch at Rigmonkey.
Zero.
Rigmonkey
I'm also
Zero.
on
That's
YouTube
it. Yep.
at just Rig. So
Yes.
yeah.
Cool. And
Forget to mention that.
if you really want to, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Toasty Sandwich. That's my general handle. I don't post though, so
Kind of pointless.
yeah. I mean, if you really want to,
follow the man.
go for it. But yeah,
stalking.
yeah,
Alright.
cool.
Peace.
All right. See ya.